वन्दे शम्भुमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्. Friends, yoga it is if we feel healthy always. Physical ill health is different from psychic ill health. Body has certain physical components and therefore body is likely to fall sick now and then. There may be accidents, there may be ups and downs. The body is likely to pass through the various phases like childhood, boyhood, manhood, old age. When it passes through these stages, body has to face certain difficulties. It may have to undergo certain changes. But mind need not undergo changes. Body is not under our control. Mind is under our control. However much we try to keep the body young, it will not remain young. The hair becomes grey, and from the 20th year we may have to move towards the 70th year. The time is not at our disposal. Time is not under our control. Similarly, however much we try, body may not be kept young always, but mind can be retained in its youthful spirits. A yogi is capable of keeping the mind ever cheerful, always peaceful, always highly enthusiastic. There is no question of the mind feeling unwell. Mind should always be enthusiastic for a yogi, and the ordinary people get subjected to certain impediments and they suffer. Either they become despondent or they are lost in despair, they become sorrowful, they lose enthusiasm, they get disappointed. It's for the ordinary people. So we have yogis, non-yogis. Yogis find everywhere opportunities and achievements. Life is an opportunity. Childhood is an opportunity. Boyhood is an opportunity. Manhood is an opportunity. Old age is an opportunity. To a real yogi, even death is an opportunity. There is no question of finding any moment to be not an opportunity. Life is full of opportunities, and there is no question of failure to a yogi, always achievements. Opportunities and achievements are always felt by the yogis. Non-yogis, life is full of temptations and threats. Life is full of desires and dangers. Whereas for a yogi, life is full of attainments and appointments. There are people who make an appointment with death. Sri Ramachandra Prabhu had an appointment with death. Sri Krishna Paramatma had an appointment with death. Ramana Maharshi had an appointment with death. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had an appointment with death. Death is not to be dreaded. Death is not to be taken as a disaster. It is also a gate to open new treasures, new heavens, new opportunities. So, yogi and non-yogi, two categories of people. Both the categories of people have the body. Yogi becomes old, non-yogi also becomes old. Yogi may die, non-yogi also may die. But yogi's mind is always peaceful. Yogi's mind is always cheerful, happy. And yogi finds everything to be an opportune moment. There is no question of impediments to a yogi. There is no question of obstacles. There is no question of difficulties, disasters, dangers. He has the ability to face the problem. He has the ability to solve the problem. He has the ability to solve the problem for the benefit of others. Whereas non-yogis fall flat when once the problems crop up. Or even if they are able to face, grudgingly they face. They want life to be a cakewalk. They don't want to face any difficulties. There are certain people, even in the happiest moment, they find sufferings. That is worse than being a non-yogi. Having come to Prashanti, we must cultivate the habit of keeping the minds always peaceful, always cheerful, and always enthusiastic. In the Ramayana, we find Anjaneya Swami a great yogi. He does not find anything to be difficult. He finds everything to be an opportunity. No impediment, no difficulty, no obstacle, no obstruction. The entire community of obstructions can be categorized into three. They are Adi Bhautikam, Adi Daivikam, Adi Atmikam. Bhautikam means this world is full of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. This 5-elemented world creates problems, ups and downs, speed breakers, waves, cyclones, tsunamis, fire accidents, air pollution, environmental pollution. These are all the problems. They are all health hazards to the body. They are all health hazards to the mind if he is an ordinary man. In spite of the pollutants, in spite of the difficulties, mind can be kept serene and sober. All these impediments, difficulties are called Adi Bhautikam. Anjaneya Swami was on the seashore. He had to cross the sea to see Sita Devi. The goal is kept before him, and that is to go and see Sita, find out her whereabouts, bring back the message to Sri Ram. He is given an assignment. He has the missionary zeal. Every one of us, we do have certain missionary zeal, a purpose, a goal in life. That particular moment, Sri Rama has given him the duty to find out Sita Devi. All of us are given certain assignments by our bosses, our families, the society, the nation. Yogi takes it with all enthusiasm. And when he takes it up, there will be the first obstruction. And the first obstruction is, we cannot start on time. You are expected to make the journey. For that you have to wake up at 4 o'clock. You fix the alarm timepiece. and the alarm bell is given, we don't feel like waking up. The first obstruction comes from the 5 elements. Anjaneya Swami took a leap, took a jump from the seashore to fly across the seas. As soon as he took that step, when he was flying, there came up as a representative of the 5 elements a mountain called Mainakam. Mainaka is a mountain. That mountain came to the surface from within the sea, and that Mainakam obstructs the flight of Anjaneya. My dear young man, you are highly enthusiastic. You are going to find Sita. You are on Swami Karya. You have taken up the mission of Sri Rama to find the whereabouts of Sita Devi. You are very much admired by my boss Samudra. I am a representative of the Himalayas. Once upon a time, the hills were flying as they liked. Indra chopped off the wings of all the mountains. I tried to escape from Indra. I was given the shelter by this god of Samudra. The sea god has given me protection, and this sea is dug by the ancestors of Sri Rama, and that sea god has sent me to invite you for a short stay. You have your breakfast here. You have your lunch here. You stay here for a day, and tomorrow you can continue your journey. Tomorrow you can study your physics. Today, let's go to a cinema. Tomorrow you can prepare for the examination. Today you spend your time with me in my room. Tomorrow you can perform your yogasanas. Today you have a cup of coffee in my canteen. Tomorrow you can start your work. Today let us relax. Students face the problem. Young entrepreneurs face this problem. Officers face this problem. And the problem is we are tempted by the pleasures of the body. We don't feel like clinging to our mission. We would like to take rest. And all this is because of the temptation of the body. Temptation caused by the sense objects. Very young boys and girls in the colleges, they come with very bright marks in their intermediate. When they come to the college, their academic performance goes down. All of us are parents. We find our children, they are very good at LKG, UKG, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th, 11th, 12th standards. For the first time, the young boy goes either to the IIT or IIM or in engineering college or a medical college or an arts college, and he is exposed to the other side of the community, the young girls or the young boys, and there is a temptation to look at them. There is a temptation to talk to them. There is a temptation to move with them. And there is a temptation to while away the time in the pleasures of the body, and the books get dust in the almirah. The boys lose that tenacity of purpose. All this is Adi Bhautikam. Most people suffer from the physical inconveniences simply because we are tempted to eat more. We are tempted to do no exercises. We are tempted to sleep more. We don't keep the body trim because of the temptations of the sense objects. Adi Bhautikam. Academic career comes down. Business falls down. Successes are at a distance, and all these impediments are faced by non-yogis and they fall flat. But Anjaneya Swami, when Adi Bhautikam, the great Mountain Mainakam came up offering hospitality. My dear Anjaneya, please stay a while. Take a little rest. You have already covered 1/3 of the distance. It's time for you to have the breakfast. Please stop. Anjaneya says, no, nothing doing. Goal is very much on my head. Until my work is completed, no rest. Swami Karya, Rama Karya knows no rest, knows no postponement. I have come to Prashanti with 100 kilos of weight. Within 10 days I must make it 75. Till then no rest. Till then no temptations. I have come with this psychic disease. I am unable to walk. I won't leave Prashanti until I walk briskly. There must be that strong determination to keep the body, mind, intellect, equipment smart. And that tenacity of a purpose, that enthusiasm to overcome the impediments, to realize the goal will be very much dynamic in a yogi. And that is Anjaneya. He has not stopped. Adi Bhautikam comes to us in two ways. One is a temptation, the other is a threat. Temptations and threats. If you don't do this, I will not give you money. If you do this, I shall give you pleasure. Either temptation or threat will be confronting us. And Anjaneya, a representative of the great yogic community, says, no, nothing doing, I am going. Mainakam has faced the defeat. Young boys and girls must have that strong determination. People living in Prashanti, having come to Prashanti, should develop that tenacity of a purpose, adherence to the goal, and we must stick to our gun. We should not be tempted, or we should not allow ourselves to be threatened by somebody. No temptations and no threats to a person who is yogic in spirit. This is Adi Bhautikam. Bhuta means elements. Adi Bhautikam means the 5 elements. The Prakriti, the nature presents the problems with laziness, with temptation, with luxury, with so many other things. 2. Adi Daivikam. When a person is able to face the nature, is able to face the world, is able to face all the worldly things, then the supernatural elements come to test our missionary zeal. How far this fellow will succeed? Unexpected things. Everything is quite okay. But still there is no success. Somewhere something goes wrong. It is a mysterious impediment. It is from some unknown quarters, and that is called Adi Daivikam. When Anjaneya has passed his first test, all the devas assembled and they sent their representative, and that lady's name is Surasa, a beautiful girl, a divine person. Anjaneya is going. He has withstood the problems caused by the 5 elements, nature. You try to tempt him with several other things. When Rambha comes, a supernatural element. When Urvasi comes, a divine angel, a damsel. When 1 crore of rupees suddenly in lottery when we get, something mysterious, unexpected for which we are not prepared. And that is Surasa. That girl comes, Anjaneya, you are wonderful. I have the desire to be with you once. Please stop, please look at me, please talk to me. Anjaneya has no strength to conquer the supernatural element. There you have to be resourceful. And you don't have time. You simply say good morning, good evening and be running away. You cannot fight. You cannot overcome. And Anjaneya said, please excuse me, I am in a hurry. He enlarged his size. Surasa also enlarged her size. I won't allow you. He became larger, she became larger, he became larger, she became larger. And then Anjaneya suddenly becomes a small speck, mosquito-like. He enters into her mouth, comes out, Ma, I have done your work. I have fulfilled your purpose. The boss may create a problem, wife may create a problem, children may create a problem. They are sensible, useful, purposeful, but still you cannot fight them, you cannot snub them, you cannot silence them. It is some mysterious power. And when such supernatural powers accost you, there is no question of fighting. You have to be resourceful. That resourcefulness has been utilized by Anjaneya. He bade goodbye and he came out. That's why social etiquette, good morning, good evening. In my place, we started one higher secondary school. I went to the minister. He granted the permission for starting the school. And the paper was signed in my presence. Then I went to the Secretary, Ministry of Education. He approved it and he proposed it, he propagated it, everything he also signed. Then the papers went to the Director of School Education, he also signed. They were sent in my presence to the Joint Director and to the hierarchy. And the last man in the hierarchy said, all the papers are duly signed, sir. You will get your approval in no time. You can go to your place, start the admissions, open the school. I went, started the school, made the admissions, and the approval has not yet come. In those days, no emails and others. 10 days, 15 days, no paper came from Chennai. I made a trip once again to the office. I went to the minister. That very day I signed and sent it. Then to the secretary. What is this? Long ago I signed the papers and sent. Director sent. Everybody sent it. Then where was the delay? I went to the person who would be cyclo-styling a peon. That man cyclo-styled all the sheets because the paper has to go to hundreds of offices. Information has to go. The whole bundle was there lying idle near his feet. The reason I did not greet him. From top to bottom I touched everybody. Top to bottom I applied to everybody. I was able to get everybody's. One particular person I neglected in the entire universe. Everybody is to be adored. Maitraha karunayevacha nirmamo nirahankaraha. Everybody is to be properly, politely approached. If you approach one, the other person gets angry. So, a successful person, a resourceful person finds everybody to be divine and no divine being can obstruct our path. Anjaneya Swami, therefore you find everywhere with Vandana. Nowhere do you find Anjaneya Swami without greeting. He finds Rama everywhere. He finds divinity everywhere. He makes himself a servant of the divine beings. When we are obedient, when we are humble, when we submit to the supernatural powers, they do not obstruct our path. Therefore, we worship Vinayaka in the beginning and we worship Anjaneya throughout by remaining humble. The supernatural elements can be overcome. The difficulties projected by them can be overcome. And that is Adi Daivikam. Anjaneya succeeded. Next, Lanka was very close. He was able to see the wonderful city. Suddenly, he felt his flight was stopped. He was stranded. Somebody was pulling him from behind. He looked up, there was nobody. He looked behind, there was nobody. He looked forward, nobody. Looked sideways, there was nobody. But still he was unable to proceed. He was standing still in the sky. I was able to overcome Adi Bhautikam. I was able to overcome Adi Daivikam. What is the reason why I am unable to fly? Then he looked beneath. The sun was setting. His shadow was falling on the sea. In the evening sun, when the shadow was to be cast, it would be larger than the person. We can see it in the mornings and in the evenings. When our shadow falls behind, it will be longer than myself. And a long shadow there will be. Now, Anjaneya has been successful in the first two attempts. The third problem is self-created. Unconsciously, an ego sprouts up, springs up. Oh, I am successful. I was able to be the MLA 5 times. I was able to be the MP 5 times. I was able to be the minister 5 times. I was able to be the chief minister so many times. How can anybody overcome? How can anybody conquer me? I was able to get 10% in 7th, 8th, 9th. How can anybody defeat me? Unconsciously we feel that we are strong. Unconsciously we feel we are egoistic. That superiority complex creeps in. Every time we have to remain humble. Anjaneya himself felt that he was nearing the capital. He was able to reach the destination, and then we are caught. Very often we make train journeys, and the greatest difficulty is the last step is the longest step. The train leaves cantonment station. From the cantonment to Bangalore city station, it's hardly 12 minutes journey. And we keep the luggage, carry the luggage, go to the door, thinking that we will be very soon coming to the Bangalore city railway station. But for some problem or other, there is no signal, no platform is vacant, and you will be in between cantonment and Bangalore city for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. The last step is the longest step. The boy has chosen the girl has chosen the boy, and they have almost decided to marry. The last step is the longest step. These parents don't give permission, those parents don't give the permission, nobody is forthcoming to perform their marriage, marriage gets delayed. Everywhere, all this is self-forged. Anjaneya Swami was so confident that egoism has come up. It is Adi Atmikam. It is self-created. That self-created problem blocks the progress, and he looked down. What is the way? He became small. When he became small, the shadow disappeared. Myself and my reputation. I build the reputation initially. The reputation builds me later on. I become the chief minister. I hold on to the chair of the chief minister. That chair holds me now. Initially I make effort to come up. Afterwards I become a slave of my fame, slave of my name, slave of my reputation. I hold on to it. That complex, that superiority, that ahambhava, that's why nirmamo nirahankaraha. Yogi is free from that egoism. Right from day one till the last moment, he is humble. Anjaneya became humble, very simple, very modest, very minute, very insignificant. The shadow disappeared. Valmiki Maharshi writes Ramayana. On that shadow was sitting a devil called Simhika. Simhika was a demoness. Sitting on the shadow, she was controlling the speed of Anjaneya. That means my reputation controls me. My ahankara controls me. This is Adi Atmikam. Many people fall in the third step. Man goeth forth on horseback with pride, returneth begging his way. When we are proud, our eyes go up. When we are successful, we are intoxicated with the alcohol of egoism. A yogi is never egoistic. A yogi is never intoxicated with success. He continues to remain a humble yogi. Ramana Maharshi, from day one to the day last, the same humble, simple Ramana. Sri Ramakrishna was always a simple, humble Ramana Maharshi. Anjaneya Swami, right from day one till the end, is always humble. A yogi is capable of facing the problems, Adi Bhautikam, Adi Daivikam and Adi Atmikam. He is not only capable of facing the problems, he is capable of solving the problems. The only solution to face the problems and solve the problems is to erase egoism and to remain humble. Having come to Prashanti, let us maintain that tenacity of purpose with the basic humility. May God's grace be showered on us. May we be ever successful with our modesty. May we be always healthy, cheerful, peaceful in our mind. Let us now meditate on that ever smiling Sri Krishna. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kasche dukkha